What happens when a poor boy with nothing but kindness crosses paths with a billionaire who has everything but no happiness? This story will change the way you see wealth forever. In the heart of a bustling city stood two worlds, side by side. One world sparkled with glass towers, luxury cars, and people rushing with designer suits and briefcases. The other was hidden in its shadows, dusty streets, broken houses, and children playing barefoot with tin cans instead of toys. Among those children was a boy named Samir, only 12 years old, yet carrying burdens heavier than most adults. His father had passed away when he was very young, leaving his mother ill and weak. Every morning, before the sun touched the rooftops, Samir carried a small basket of apples to the roadside market, hoping to sell enough to buy food for the day. Samir's life was not easy. Some days, people ignored him. Some mocked his torn clothes. Others tried to cheat him, paying less than his apples were worth. Still, Samir never lost hope. He often told his mother, "Don't worry, Mama. One day, I will make things better for us. You'll see." Despite his hunger, despite his pain, his smile remained. That smile carried the strength of his dreams. One cold morning, as Samir stood shivering beside his apple basket, a black luxury car stopped nearby. From it stepped Mr. Adrian, one of the city's wealthiest businessmen. His name opened doors. His money commanded respect. Yet behind his sharp suit and polished shoes was a man chained by loneliness. Adrian lived in a mansion filled with art, but empty of laughter. He had no wife, no children, and very few true friends. He had money to buy anything, except happiness. Samir politely said, "Sir, would you like to buy an apple?" Mr. Adrian said, "Why would I buy these? I can get better ones in the city. Keep your apples." Samir lowered his eyes, embarrassed. Yet instead of begging, he simply smiled and replied, "Maybe mine are not the best, sir, but I picked them with love for my mother." Adrian paused for a moment, confused, but he shrugged and tossed a coin, walking away without taking any fruit. Samir placed the coin back in the basket. "I can't take money without giving something in return," he whispered. That night, Adrian sat in his luxurious home, staring at his reflection in the giant mirror. The boy's words replayed in his mind. "I picked them with love for my mother." For years, Adrian had worked endlessly, building companies, signing deals, chasing wealth. But when was the last time he had done anything with love? The next morning, Adrian returned to the market. He expected to see a poor boy desperate to sell, but what he found shocked him. Samir was helping an old blind man cross the road. He was giving water to stray dogs. He even offered one of his apples for free to another hungry child. Adrian stood frozen. Here was a boy who had nothing, yet gave everything. Adrian approached Samir and asked, "Why do you help others when you can barely survive yourself?" Samir said, "Because, sir, when you have nothing, kindness is the only thing you can afford to give." From that day on, Adrian began visiting Samir often. At first, he only bought apples, but slowly, he began to talk with the boy. He learned that Samir walked miles each day to fetch clean water, that he studied under a flickering streetlight at night because his home had no electricity. His biggest dream was to one day build a school, so children like him wouldn't have to beg or struggle to learn. Adrian was stunned. He had spent millions on parties, cars, and holidays, yet here was a child dreaming not for himself, but for others. One afternoon, Adrian followed Samir home. He saw the crumbling walls, the roof that leaked when it rained, the mother coughing weakly on a thin mattress. He saw the small plate of rice that was supposed to feed them both for the entire day. Something broke inside Adrian. For the first time in decades, he cried, not for himself, but for the boy. That night, he made a decision. The next morning, Adrian told Samir to bring his mother, and handed her a small envelope, and said, "This is not charity. This is an investment in the future. Samir will go to school. Your family will live in a proper home. And one day, I expect him to do for others what he has done for me." Inside the envelope was not only money, but also a scholarship form with Samir's name already written. Tears streamed down his mother's face. Samir, for the first time, felt the weight of his dreams lifting. Months turned to years. Samir studied hard, often at the top of his class. Adrian became more than a benefactor. He became a father figure. He no longer spent recklessly on luxuries. Instead, he built schools, sponsored hospitals, and created jobs. The cold, lonely businessman had transformed into a man of purpose. Years later, in a hall filled with students, leaders, and families, a young man walked on stage. It was Samir, no longer the poor boy with a basket of apples, but now a respected teacher and community leader. The story of a poor boy and a rich man became a legend, reminding everyone that kindness, not money, is the true measure of wealth. If this story touched your heart, do not forget to like the video, share and subscribe for more life-changing stories.